Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, council members, city officials, and our streaming audience. I would like to welcome all of you to the September 12th City Council meeting. We have 17 items on our agenda this evening, and we're meeting here in chambers open for public attendance and streaming live on YouTube. Moving forward, if you would, Ms. Moss, please continue with the roll call of our members.
Anthony Phillips.
Present. Here.
Payne.
Here.
Nickerson.
Here.
Farrow.
Here.
Henderson.
Here.
Park. Preston.
Here.
Greg Phillips.
Present.
Prohl.
Miss Nina Park informed us of her resignation this past week, and Mr. Prohl had notified us of absence due to family matters. We have a motion to excuse. Motion by Ms. Preston, seconded by Mrs. Payne. Roll call on the motion for excuse of Ms. Park as well as Mr. Prohl.
Payne.
Yes.
Anthony Phillips.
Yes.
Farrow.
Yes.
Nickerson.
Yes.
Henderson.
Yes.
Preston.
Yes.
Greg Phillips.
Yes.
The motion passes. At this time, would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you. Minutes of the previous meeting have been distributed for review. Do we have any additions or corrections to the minutes? And if not, do I have a motion to accept the minutes as they are? I have a motion from Ms. Henderson, seconded by Mr. Greg Phillips. Roll call on the motion to accept the minutes.
Nickerson.
Yes.
Farrow.
Yes.
Henderson.
Yes.
Payne.
Yes.
Anthony Phillips.
Yes.
Preston.
Yes.
Greg Phillips.
Yes.
The minutes have been accepted. We'll now move to the reports of our committees. We'll begin with our Community Affair Committee.
Excuse
Mr.
me.
Yes.
I have, since we're on minutes, I don't know that we actually approved the minutes that were amended last meeting. I think that y'all went through with the amendments, but not the actual approval.
So the vote, appreciate that, Ms. Nickerson. So we need to vote to accept the amended minutes due to the fact that we were under count for the last meeting.
Also move.
Moved by Ms. Henderson, seconded by
Second.
Mrs. Nickerson. Ms. Nickerson, sorry. Roll call on the motion.
Anthony Phillips.
Yes.
Payne.
Yes.
Nickerson.
Yes.
Farrow.
Yes.
Henderson.
Yes.
Preston.
Yes.
Greg Phillips.
Yes.
Motion passes. We will now move to the reports of our committees, and we'll begin with our Community Affair Committee. Mr. Greg Phillips.
Thank you, President Geringer. Community Affairs does have one item on the agenda this evening. It is the last item, which is number 17, way down the list. It is at a first read. It is an ordinance accepting and appropriating $26,936.33. This is received from the One Ohio opioid settlement. And this, we've already received the money. We've already accepted the money. This is just creating a separate fund so that we can And I believe, if I was correct, there are, 17 or 18 more payments of varying potential. I don't know if it's the same payment and how many times they'll be dispersed, but this will allow that to be put into a separate fund so that we can track that. Since we've already received the monies and we would like to get the separate fund created, I would ask at the appropriate time that we waive the 3-read rule so that we can get that fund established. And that is all Community Affairs has. Thank you.
Moving to the Human Resource Committee with Ms. Payne.
Thank you, President Geringer. Human Resources had a committee meeting on 8/29 to discuss Assignment 22-106, which was the city employees' health insurance benefits. And that same evening, we interviewed Health Board candidate Dr. Brandy Spalding. Both of these items are on the agenda tonight. Item number 12 is a resolution approving the 2023 health insurance benefits proposal for city employees. And item 14 is a resolution confirming the appointments of Dr. Richard Villarreal and Dr. Brandy Spalding to the Ross County Health District Board. These will go on to additional reads. Thank you.
Moving to the Development Committee, Ms. Nickerson.
Thank you, President Geringer. Development has nothing on the agenda tonight, therefore we have nothing to report.
Moving to the Finance Committee, Mr. Tony Phillips.
Thank you, President Geringer. We have several things. We do have 4 agenda items. Number 1 is a 3rd reading, an ordinance allowing the city auditor to transfer appropriated dollars between salaries and fringes within the same fund if needed on an emergency basis for the remainder of the year 2022. Agenda item number 3, an ordinance appropriating $50,000 for city income tax refunds, transferring funds back to the general fund to support the proportionate share of the income tax refunds and declaring an emergency. Agenda item number 7 is a 2nd reading, an ordinance appropriating funds for various end-of-year expenses. And based on the fact that we have some outstanding purchase orders that are drawing some attention, I will be asking us to waive the 3-read rule on that. Agenda item number 13 is a 1st reading, a resolution authorizing tax levies for the city of Chiillicothe of Ohio for the fiscal year beginning January the 1st, 2023, as determined by the Ross County Budget Commission, certifying said levies to the county auditor and declaring an emergency. This is an annual resolution required by Ohio law. We are required to pass this by October the 1st, and rather than wait till the last minute on the second meeting of the month, I am going to ask as well that we waive the 3-read rule on this. We also had a committee meeting tonight. There is a need for the income tax department for a new credit card machine. It's $4,000. Pretty straightforward. Everybody was in agreement today, so we're going to move forward with legislation on that. And I would like to bring to everybody's attention the email that went out this week from Auditor Spetnagel, the tentative 2023 budget meeting schedule. And that is subject to change, but we will be notified of those changes when the time comes, and at the appropriate time in October or November, the ordinance will officially go out. But anyway, you'll see the budget meeting schedule for that, and I believe that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving to Parks and Recreation, Ms. Henderson.
Thank you, President Geringer. Parks and Rec has 3 items on the agenda tonight. The first is a 3rd reading, appropriating $35,000 to complete the purchase of a lawnmower for the Parks and Rec Department. The second is a 2nd reading, allowing the city to apply for the Ohio Department of Natural Resources Urban Canopy Restoration Grant. And due to the deadline to apply, I'm going to be asking to waive the 3-read rule on that. And then item number 15, which is a resolution allowing East 2nd Street to be used for the Cigar Band's Chili Fest event. And that one I will actually ask for an amendment to to add emergency language and request that we waive the 3 read due to the upcoming event. We had a committee meeting tonight on expanding Dora downtown into a couple of other locations, just barely expanding the limits to incorporate several businesses that very much want to participate, including one that's slightly moving, that's been a big participator in the past. And I believe that's all Parks and Rec has.
Thank you. Moving next to the Safety Service Committee with Ms. Preston.
Thank you, President Geringer. So Safety Services has 5 items on the agenda this evening. One is number 4, an ordinance accepting and appropriating $492.31 received from Chiillicothe Country Club as payment for having a city fire inspector and fire truck in attendance at their members-only fireworks display. Number 5 is a second reading ordinance accepting and appropriating reimbursement check from the State of Ohio Attorney General's Office in the amount of $420. This is for Narcan. Number 6, the second reading, an ordinance accepting and appropriating a reimbursement check from Dana Transport Incorporated. They were involved in an accident and the fire department respond hazmat. So it's reimbursement for the time the employee was in and the equipment that they used. Number 8 is a second reading, an ordinance establishing rates of pay and other economic benefits for non-bargaining employees within the Safety Service Department and declaring an emergency. This is for the fire chief, police chief, and the captains. This has been ongoing for quite some time, so we're going to, at the appropriate time, I'm going to ask to waive the 3 read rule. Number 9 is an ordinance appropriating funds in the amount of $10,000 for municipal court dormant account refunds for the remainder of 2022 and declaring emergency. I'll also ask at the appropriate time to waive that 3 read rule for that. We did have a committee meeting this evening in regards to replacement computers for the Chiillicothe Police Department. These have not been replaced for quite some time, and as we all know, computers become outdated after a certain period of time and run slower, so they need this to be able to run more efficiently, and that'll go to a first read at the next meeting. And then I also had a request from the American Legion Post 62. They sponsor the boys from this area that go to Buckeye Boys State. They ask for us to remember that Saturday, September 17th, is Constitution Day. And they just wanted me to mention that during tonight's meeting. And it's the anniversary of the signing of the U.S. Constitution. That's all I have.
Thank you. Moving next to Engineering and City Services, Mr. Farrow.
Thank you. On behalf of the Engineering Committee, I have nothing to report. For City Services and Transit, we have item number 16 on tonight's agenda, which is the first reading of an ordinance appropriating $8,350 for the purchase of a bush mower attachment for the city skid steer and declaring an emergency. This price that we received from the supplier was good for 30 days, so to not cost the city any additional funds, at the appropriate time, I'll ask that we waive the 3 read rule. That would be it. Thank you.
And in the absence of Mr. Prohl, is there anyone from the Utilities Committee with a report? From there, we'll move to our city officials and reports. Our auditor, Ms. Spetnagel.
Okay. I really don't have too much to discuss tonight. We did start the budget process. We had a budget meeting with all the department heads, giving guidance on what we're gonna change in the 2023 budget and the process. So I did send out that tentative schedule. Those meeting dates, if it's before council starting at 6, it will probably consume that whole hour before council. So if you're going to have a committee meeting, I would try to do it before that 6 o'clock time starts, because the department heads will be coming in here individually. Some will have PowerPoint, some will just have basic things if they have smaller budgets, but some do take up quite a good amount of time. So the goal is to have each department come in And then on Monday, November the 24th or 21st, to give an overall view of the budget, and then to get it on for a reading in November with 2 reads in December. So if you have any questions on that process, or as department heads come in and speak, you can always meet with them individually or contact the mayor or myself for more information. Other than that, that concludes my report.
Moving to our law director, Ms. Villarreal.
Thank you. We, along with all the other positions, are going to be working with Crystal to get our budget updated. We do have some changes that we're doing, so it is very time consuming because it has to be done correctly. So, but other than that, that's my report for tonight.
Thank you. We'll now move on to audience participation. Council Rule 22 does limit each speaker to a 5-minute presentation, and a total limitation of 15 minutes per any single subject. If you get to the point where you're getting close to 1 minute left, I'll try to indicate to you so that you can summarize your presentation. Anyone who wishes to speak, we do need for our records your name and address.
I reside at 47.5 East Main Street. Just a question tonight. Number 10 on your agenda, at the last meeting, it was not mentioned which committee this came out of, and it was also not mentioned this meeting. So whose committee did that come out of, and when was there a committee meeting? Just interested to know.
I do not have my notes in front of me, the exact date when the committee meeting would have been held. But there was a committee meeting on this. Well, we actually had 2 committee meetings on this one, and the second committee meeting was we had a representative from the insurance company come in and explain the increases. And I apologize, I didn't mention that one this evening. And there were quite a few increases in city insurance, but he explained all those to the committee. Thank you.
So that meeting was held on August the 8th at 6 p.m. It was 22088, appropriation for insurance cost increases. Agreed? There you go. We will now go to old business. Does anyone have any old business that they would like to bring up this evening?
I do. I'm curious to get some information on the committed legislation, if there's been any developments on those or anything.
So I have been in conversations with Teresa Wood from the law director's office, and she is working on it. Both of them. Both committed legislation.
We're not having any more discussion. It's just going straight into legislation.
It'll come back to the reads that it left at. Correct.
I thought it was tabled for more discussion, though.
No, it was tabled to go back to the law director's office for review of the complaints that were.
I tabled one of them based on
They were
more
committed.
discussion. Yeah.
Yeah.
I committed it. One of them.
So no, they've already. My committee already approved them.
Thank you. Let's move to new business. Does anyone have any new business that they would like to bring up at this time?
This is just an update and some of you that may traverse Brewer Heights, Limestone, the intersection at Western Avenue may have noticed that the evening of July 4th, this would be the western wall, was struck. I've had a lot of emails and kind of back and forth, and you can see it as you go down Western Avenue if you just kind of look off to the right. So that is actually city property, and it's actually in the Park and Recs department. So the individual that did strike that wall, it's in insurance now to get some bids and to see what it would be to kind of restore that wall. And the Stovers were very good and gracious to go down and take out the time capsule and some of the things in that wall that were put in when it was put together back in, I believe, the mid 80s. And so I just wanted to kind of put that on public record and just kind of update folks that it looks like nothing's being done, but once insurance is involved and just trying to get bids and those types of things between the city and the insurance company. So that hopefully will be done before winter and get that wall back up and looking good and kind of match the east wall. Thanks.
It's actually timely, Mr. Phillips. I received a committee request today specific to that. So the insurance settlement is in, and we'll be assigning those funds for the repair to the entry at Brewer Heights in the coming weeks.
That's fantastic. Thank you.
Moving to participation in correspondence received by the clerk.
Thank you, President Gallagher. I have not received anything.
We'll now move on to our legislation. We have 17 items on our agenda this evening, and Ms. Moss, whenever you're ready, we'll start with item number 1.
Item number 1 is a third reading of an ordinance allowing the city auditor to transfer appropriated dollars between salaries and fringes within the same fund if needed on an emergency basis for the remainder of the year 2022.
Roll call on the ordinance.
Anthony Phillips.
Yes.
Payne.
Yes.
Nickerson.
Yes.
Farrow.
Yes.
Henderson.
Yes.
Preston.
Yes.
Greg Phillips.
Yes.
The ordinance passes. Moving to item number 2.
Item number 2 is the third reading of an ordinance appropriating $35,000 to complete the purchase of a lawnmower for the Parks and Recreation Department. President Gehringer, at this time, I'd like to, never mind.
Roll call on the ordinance.
Payne.
Yes.
Farrow.
Yes.
Henderson.
Yes.
Nickerson.
Yes.
Preston.
Yes.
Greg Phillips.
Yes.
Anthony Phillips.
Yes.
The ordinance passes. Item number 3.
Item number 3 is the third reading of an ordinance appropriating $50,000 for city income tax refunds, transferring funds back to the general fund to support the proportionate share of the income tax refunds, and declaring an emergency.
Roll call on the ordinance.
Farrow.
Yes.
Anthony Phillips.
Yes.
Payne.
Yes.
Greg Phillips.
Yes.
Preston.
Yes.
Henderson.
Yes.
Nickerson.
Yes.
The ordinance passes. Item number 4.
Item number 4 is the second reading of an ordinance accepting and appropriating $492.31 received from the Chiillicothe Country Club as payment for having a city fire inspector and fire truck in attendance at their members-only fireworks display.
That item will move to our next agenda. Item number 5.
Item number 5 is an ordinance accepting and appropriating a reimbursement check from the State of Ohio Attorney General's Office in the amount of $420.
That item will move to our next agenda. Item number 6.
Item number 6 is the second reading of an ordinance accepting and appropriating a reimbursement check from Dana Transport Incorporated in the amount of $954.32.
That item will move to our next agenda. Item number 7.
Item number 7 is the second reading of an ordinance appropriating funds for various end-of-year expenses.
President Geringer,
Yes.
at this time, I would like to make a motion to waive the 3-read rule on this agenda item.
Motion made by Mr. Tony Phillips, seconded by Mr. Greg Phillips to waive the 3-read rule on this item. Roll call on the motion.
Payne,
Yes.
Nickerson,
Yes.
Anthony Phillips,
Yes.
Henderson,
Yes.
Preston,
Yes.
Greg Phillips,
Yes.
Farrow.
Yes.
Motion is passed. Roll call on the ordinance.
Nickerson,
Yes.
Preston,
Yes.
Greg Phillips,
Yes.
Henderson,
Yes.
Farrow,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Anthony Phillips.
Yes.
Ordinance passes. Item number 8.
Item number 8 is the second reading of an ordinance establishing rates of pay and other economic benefits for non-bargaining employees within the Safety Services Department and declaring an emergency.
President Geringer,
Yes.
I'd like to request to waive the 3-read on this item, please.
Motion by Ms. Preston, seconded by Mr. Farrow to waive the 3-read rule on this item. Roll call on the motion.
Henderson,
Yes.
Preston,
Yes.
Anthony Phillips,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Greg Phillips,
Yes.
Nickerson,
Yes.
Farrow.
Yes.
Motion passes. Roll call on the ordinance.
Payne,
Yes.
Nickerson,
Yes.
Anthony Phillips,
Yes.
Greg Phillips,
Yes.
Preston,
Yes.
Henderson,
Yes.
Farrow.
Yes.
Ordinance passes. Item number 8. Item number 9.
Item number 9 is the second reading of an ordinance appropriating funds in the amount of $10,000 for municipal court dormant account refunds for the remainder of 2022 and declaring an emergency.
President Geringer, I would like to request to waive the 3-read rule on this item as well, please.
Motion by Ms. Preston, seconded by Ms. Payne to waive the 3-read rule on this item. Roll call on the motion.
Henderson,
Yes.
Farrow,
Yes.
Greg Phillips,
Yes.
Preston,
Yes.
Nickerson,
Yes.
Anthony Phillips.
Yes.
Payne.
Yes.
Motion passes. Roll call on the ordinance.
Anthony Phillips,
Yes.
Nickerson,
Yes.
Farrow,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Henderson,
Yes.
Greg Phillips,
Yes.
Preston.
Yes.
The ordinance passes. Item number 10.
Item number 10 is the second reading of an ordinance appropriating funds to cover an increase in costs of citywide property and casualty insurance policies and declaring an emergency.
That item will move to our next agenda. Item number 11.
Item number 11 is the second reading of a resolution authorizing the City of Chiillicothe to apply for the Ohio Department of Natural Resources Urban Canopy Restoration Grant Program.
President Geringer, at this time, I'd like to make a motion that we waive the 3-read rule.
Motion by Ms. Henderson, seconded by Ms. Payne to waive the 3-read rule. Roll call on the motion.
Greg Phillips,
Yes.
Anthony Phillips,
Yes.
Preston,
Yes.
Farrow,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Nickerson,
Yes.
Henderson.
Yes.
Motion is passed. Roll call on the resolution.
Farrow,
Yes.
Henderson,
Yes.
Preston,
Yes.
Greg Phillips,
Yes.
Nickerson,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Anthony Phillips.
Yes.
Resolution passes. Item number 12.
Item number 12 is the first reading of a resolution approving the 2023 health insurance benefits proposal for city employees.
That item will move to our next agenda. Item number 13.
Item number 13 is a resolution authorizing the tax levies for the city of Chiillicothe, Ohio for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2023, as determined by the Ross County Budget Commission, certifying said levies to the county auditor and declaring an emergency.
President Geringer, at this time, I would like to make a motion to waive the 3-read rule on this agenda item.
Motion by Mr. Anthony Phillips, seconded by Mr. Farrow. Roll call on the motion to waive the 3-read rule.
Henderson,
Yes.
Greg Phillips,
Yes.
Preston,
Yes.
Nickerson,
Yes.
Anthony Phillips,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Farrow,
Yes.
Motion passes. Roll call on the resolution.
Nickerson,
Yes.
Henderson,
Yes.
Farrow,
Yes.
Preston,
Yes.
Greg Phillips,
Yes.
Anthony Phillips,
Yes.
Payne.
Yes.
The resolution passes. Item number 14.
Item number 14 is the first reading of a resolution confirming the appointments of Dr. Richard Villarreal and Dr. Brandy Spalding to the Ross County Health District Board.
That item will move to our next agenda. Item number 15.
Item number 15 is a resolution expressing cooperation and granting use of a certain portion of East 2nd Street to the Cigar Band for its Chili Fest event.
President Geringer, at this time, I would like to amend this legislation or make a motion that we amend this legislation to add emergency language due to the event's upcoming date.
I second.
All right. Motion by Ms. Henderson, seconded by Ms. Nickerson for an amendment to add emergency language. Roll call on the motion.
Greg Phillips,
Yes.
Preston,
Yes.
Farrow,
Yes.
Henderson,
Yes.
Nickerson,
Yes.
Anthony Phillips,
Yes.
Payne.
Yes.
Motion passes.
And President Geringer, at this time, I'd like to make a motion that we waive the 3-read rule on that.
Motion by Ms. Henderson, seconded by Mr. Greg Phillips to waive the 3-read rule. Roll call on the motion.
Payne,
Yes.
Preston,
Yes.
Greg Phillips,
Yes.
Nickerson,
Yes.
Anthony Phillips,
Yes.
Farrow,
Yes.
Henderson.
Yes.
Motion passes. Roll call on the resolution.
Nickerson,
Yes.
Henderson,
Yes.
Greg Phillips,
Yes.
Preston,
Yes.
Farrow,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Anthony Phillips.
Yes.
Resolution passes. Item number 16.
Item number 16 is an ordinance appropriating $8,350 for the purchase of a bush mower attachment for the city's skid steer and declaring an emergency.
I'd like to make a motion to waive the 3-read rule on this piece of legislation.
Motion by Mr. Farrow, seconded by Ms. Henderson. Roll call on the motion to waive the 3-read rule.
Anthony Phillips,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Nickerson,
Yes.
Farrow,
Yes.
Henderson,
Yes.
Preston,
Yes.
Greg Phillips.
Yes.
Motion passes. Roll call on the ordinance.
Nickerson,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Anthony Phillips,
Yes.
Greg Phillips,
Yes.
Preston,
Yes.
Henderson,
Yes.
Farrow.
Yes.
The ordinance passes. Item number 17.
Item number 17 is the first reading of an ordinance accepting and appropriating $26,936.33 received from the One Ohio opioid settlement, establishing a separate fund 252 to track settlement revenue and expenditures and declaring an emergency.
President Geringer, at this time, I would ask that we waive the 3-read rule as we are already in receipt of the monies and would like to make sure they stay in a separate fund. Thank you.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Greg Phillips, seconded by Ms. Nickerson. Roll call on the motion.
Farrow,
Yes.
Preston,
Yes.
Greg Phillips,
Yes.
Henderson,
Yes.
Anthony Phillips,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Nickerson.
Yes.
Motion passes. Roll call on the ordinance.
Preston,
Yes.
Greg Phillips,
Yes.
Farrow,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Anthony Phillips,
Yes.
Henderson,
Yes.
Nickerson.
Yes.
The ordinance passes. Are there any additional items that need to be added or brought up at this time? If not, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Motion by Ms. Henderson, seconded by Mr. Farrow. Roll call on the motion.
Anthony Phillips,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Nickerson,
Yes.
Farrow,
Yes.
Henderson,
Yes.
Preston,
Yes.
Greg Phillips.
Yes.
We are adjourned. Have a wonderful evening. That was fast, dude. For 17 items, dude, that flew, dude.